What's up, everybody? This is your boy Cali P. Today's video, we're going to be bringing you updates on the current project. So after the intro, we're going to jump right into it. So far, this is where I'm at. I just did a little grinding just to knock some of it down. Wanted to check some of the penetration as well. There was a gap right here, so I had to fill it in. That's why I got some little potholes right here that I gotta go over. But for the most part, I had it spot on up here. That's why this looks so clean, because I was able to fill in the gap real good, get some good penetration up here. And so the other side is more precise than this side. That's why I did this first, because on this one, as you can see right there at the bottom, I had some gaps for where I miscut and tried to clean it up, the piece. So I should have just left it alone. I would have been all right. So this right here, you can see, the heat right there, heat marks. So I got good penetration. I was also welding in spots to this back piece. So I welded in here, 2 spots here. So I gotta do below the underneath and put some more welds in there. And then I think I'm just gonna do this hole and this hole, and then we good. But this side is in there. I ran out of wire, so I gotta put some more wire in there and then come over here and hit this spot. So I'm gonna do that next. Gotta cover the car and weld this part in, and we're done for the day. Okay, so I just put this beam here so I can show you that it's level from left to right or right to left, driver's side. And so again, when we asked about squareness, all I did was, I put these here to make sure that it didn't bow. I didn't cut here or any of the spots where it would have knocked it off factory square. When I put these beams in, I got straps over there. I took measurements. 58 and 5/8 is where we should be. So I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. 58 and 5/8. You can see that. That's where we at. That was my measurement before I cut, and I measured like at least a good between 5 and 10 times. Just because things shift, things move. But this was a closed frame when I was doing the measuring. So it can't move too much because it was already welded in place. But anyway, just for peace of mind, I just over measured, I'm always do that. And so I welded these in. As you can see, this one broke off. It's not a flat surface. We got these little ridges in there, so it was kind of hard welding to a round square with ridges thing, but I got it in there and it was nice and secure. It didn't pop loose until after I started grinding on this side. And it was already welded in place, measured and welded in place. So again, I couldn't be more proud of the outcome so far. I got to finish it though. Cut this, put it along the outside, same on the other side, and then weld in the closure. And this thing should be tank strong in this part right here. If there was some type of impact right here, you know, even though this is going to be on the outside, so this frame is going to be more than strong enough, in my opinion. And so, again, proud of where I'm at so far. All I got to do is, again, weld that piece in on both sides, and that's just to extend so that when I go to set the car on there, I'll be able to mount properly and there won't be space. This needs to be wider. All right, so this is where we at. So I got this welded in. Sorry for the camera jitters. This piece is welded in. I did a little seam right there, seam down the side, various little spot welds in here. And of course, I welded the top across. Still got to do some grinding and clean up right here just to get it as clean as I can. I'm gonna weld a piece over this. You ain't gonna even really see this. You will see the top and the bottom, but you won't see the facial piece. But I'm gonna still clean it up and put some rust encapsulator over it just for protection. And same over here. Welded with my 8-inch overlap on each side. Did a weld right there, a weld on there, weld there. I'm not really a welder or by trade, and I'm a DIYer. You know, I'll do it for myself and others, and I just try to do things at the best that I can. On this build, I took a lot of consideration from people that I consulted with. I also did some research using ChatGPT, some research on YouTube. There's only one video where I saw that somebody had finished this particular application. Well, he used a 2003 Crown Vic frame. I used a 2002. I don't know if there's a difference. It might have been a year change difference. However, his video only showed the car sitting on what is believed to be the frame. It didn't show none of the process. He spoke about how he did it in his driveway, which I don't have a reason to doubt that, but there was just no proof in the pudding. So when I went out to do this, I just knew that it was possible, and I just had to figure out the best way for me to get it done, because I didn't have anything else to reference with. I also found another video where a guy was using a Crown Vic frame for an old mail truck. It was like a 40s or 50s. I'm gonna try to get those videos, and when I upload this particular video, I'll try to add those to it so you guys can see where my starting points and where my midpoint as far as YouTube references was concerned. But nevertheless, this is my semi-finished product of stretching the frame. Now I have to put the width cap on the outside, and then box in this here. I probably don't need to box it in, honestly, once I put that extension on, but I'm gonna do it anyway, just because that's just the type of stuff that I do. If it's overkill, it's overkill, but as long as I feel secure with the job at the end of the day, then that's all that matters as far as application for safety and different things like that. Now, other than that, of course, you do have certain road regulations and different things like that to consider when you're doing something like this. And so, again, making it as safe as possible is always the key. Making it factory safe, or at least close to or more than factory safe, is my goal. So, let me see, let me do some measuring stuff so you can see. So here's where we are as far as the frame being level. Okay, I'm gonna go in front of this cut. Okay, so that's where we are as far as the frame being level. Boom. Go in front of the cut. Boom. Now, for everybody who's gonna say, well, is it square? I mean, I got one hand, man, and I don't have my tripod and all that set up. But, I mean, I don't think it's less square than what it was when it came from the factory. Let's see. Let me try to do I'm gonna come right back and do a cross level. Okay, so this is day 30 of this build, the Crown Victoria swap. And so what I'm gonna do now is today is just gonna be about measuring and getting prepped for the next step. The next step is going to be cutting this for the exterior extension piece. I got it measured out. You know, my two pieces, one for the right, one for the left. And then after I do that, after I make those cuts, I'll make the cuts for the interior wall. So what I'm gonna have to do on this interior wall here, what I'm electing to do to make it look cleaner is I'm gonna come up to just below this line right here. The reason why I'm gonna do that is two reasons. One, I'm gonna keep this bend right here and weld to this bend. And then I'm going to make a piece to box this in. That piece is gonna slide in. The bottom will have a bottom lip, and the top will butt up to this edge. Now, it's all gonna be one piece. So the bottom is gonna be bent, and the top is gonna be rolled steel like this, and I'll weld to the butt of the two pieces. I think that's gonna look much cleaner. And for what it's worth, this little portion right here, it'll be a little bit easier for me to close this, I believe. I don't know. I'm gonna have to find a little piece of metal maybe that I can use to make that work. So that's the plan. So as of right now, I'm just gonna be doing measuring, no cutting,
just measuring. I already measured this out. Before I do any of that though, I kind of skipped over a step. So first, today is just gonna be measuring this, right? Then I'm gonna measure the piece for the inside, slide the piece that needs to slide in between my little shim and stabilization piece in there, a bracket, whatever you wanna call it. Then once I get all the pieces measured, cut and measured, I gotta make room. So it's gonna be, before I start welding, it's probably gonna be a whole nother 5 or 6 days before I start finishing the cap for the inside and the outside, before I start welding that in. So I gotta clean everything out, move everything from in front of the Galaxie, swap everything over, which that usually takes 1 day. 1 day in the garage for me is 3 hours. So it usually takes about 3 hours to move everything, line everything up. So I'm going to clean out the spaces, transport that stuff over here, frame over there, frame under car, do a test fitting to see where I'm at as far as this this gap right here. Because as it sits right now, that frame, that car should go right down on this frame, and then only thing I should need to do is make marks for modifications when it comes to the mounting points, like back here and in the rear. And so while I have the car under the frame, while I have the frame under the car, excuse me, I'm going to cut a straight line down, not all the way down, but just down enough to where just the bottom metal is keeping these two rear frame arms attached. And then I'm going to lower the car on the frame so that I can get these arms to bend in the position for the trunk to sit on it. Because currently it's about, currently it's about, based on my measurements, it's about 10 degrees too high in the back. It's a 10-degree difference based on my measurements. So while I have the car under there doing the fitting for everything, I'm just gonna cut, boom, a straight line down on that side, and then let the weight of the car bend these arms down to where I want. Then I'm gonna get a piece of metal, tack it to the outside on this side, tack it to the outside on that side. You know, that way when I pull it out, I'll be able to weld it in place perfectly to where the car wants it to sit. That's going to give me the extension for the for the bumper, excuse me. Well, that's going to give me the placement for the bumper and help me to line up these mounting points in the back. There's also a mounting point right here. I may need to either weld a piece there or make a bracket, close it off and make a bracket. And so, yeah, that's where we at today. Day 30 is just more measuring and more customizing, brainstorming, trying to get some stuff done. I'm gonna catch up also on the social media side. So I'm gonna get some videos lined up for YouTube. That way, once I start getting back busy on the modifications, I can focus on this and not have to worry about uploading videos. I may still upload shorts and Instagrams, reels, But as far as full-length videos, all that editing and stuff, I won't be doing that simultaneously because it's just not getting done. So I need to take days like this where I can do some light work in here, measure, brainstorm, go in, do the video stuff and get it out. So, but again, I'm very happy. I still have to do some grinding here, some grinding on the other side, but all in all, I'm pleased on how the stretch came out. So we good with that as of right now. Now it's time to do the test fit. It's 4 inches, so that should go under there fine. I'll do some wheelbase, measurements and stuff like that. And yeah, then a whole nother day. So it's gonna really be like, about 6 days because the weekend is a wash. So actually 6, not consecutive days. It's gonna be, 6 non-consecutive days. So, by the middle of this month, I should have this frame sitting under the car 90% done with the stretch and modifications. Maybe 90% is a bit aggressive. So let's say 70%, because I probably would still have to weld in, mount brackets and all that good stuff. And then after that, pull it right back out and break it all the way down. I'm talking about take everything off. All these control arms, the front springs, shocks, all that stuff to clean up the frame, make sure everything is looking nice and pretty. And I don't know, I may elect to do that a little bit later. Maybe once I get to undercoating and all that, I'll do that at the same time, so it'll be one mess at one time. Not that I plan on making a mess, but yeah, things can get messy when you're dealing with paint materials and space. So, yep, but that's it right now. This video was already 10 minutes, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Big Block Motors signing out. We got progress. If you knew better, do better. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. We'll holler back.